So the brand new War Tycoon update did add in the independence. However, this wasn't the only thing which was added in this update, because we have had a huge amount of balance changes, and in this video, guys, I will be covering all of them. So anyway, let's just jump right into the update log. So I did actually cover all these other 4 changes in the update video, so I won't be talking about them today. So let's just move into the most latest ones. So APS no longer targets missiles that won't land near vehicle, increase mouse and E100 cannon damage against air vehicles, increased Barracuda, zoom world and thermal health, increased Barracuda and PGO2 damage, modified secondary turret keybinds for the K-51 Panther, Abrams X and PLO-1, and then general improvements. And fun fact, the T-90's issue with the missile deflector pretty much never working was actually fixed. So anyway, let's just move on to all of these balance changes and see how many things were actually changed. So first of all, one of the soft changes that were actually made is that the Abrams X, the K-51 Panthers, and the PLO-1 will actually be able to shoot their machine gun now by literally holding it. However, the problem with this is that the keybind is F, and the F isn't very much comfortable for the finger, considering you want to always strafe with D. And another thing I want to add to this is if you guys are going to just be letting go of shooting, as you can see, the cooldown is not going down. So do actually keep this in mind, and I really don't like this one change that was made. Now let's go ahead and move into the balance changes of the boats. The Barracuda's health was increased from 1050 to 1400. The Thermal's health was increased from 1700 to 2000. With this, we also received a buff to the Zumwalt. The Zumwalt used to have exactly 4200 base health. Now it has 5200. Now let's go ahead and actually move in the balance changes that were made to the Barracuda and the PGO2 in terms of their main cannon damage. So here we have it. As you guys can see, it's going to be doing exactly 12 damage per shot, and the only thing I do seem to notice against the planes is that it does have slightly faster fire rate, but other than this, I don't see that many changes, and I mean, it's alright. It's just a bonus to the Barracuda and all the starter players, so I'm not going to complain. Let's take a look what it does to the Mi-28. Now, as you guys can clearly see, it's going to be doing 12 damage each once again to the helicopters. It's pretty much the same multiplier as it is for the planes, and I'd say the damage and the fire rate is pretty decent, but it's nothing insane at all. However, what is insane over here is how good the PGO2 is, because as you guys can clearly see, this thing can shred the F-35 in literally 2 seconds. Let's see how well it does against the helicopters. Alrighty, so here we have the Mi-28, and as you can also see, it is clearly able to shred it in a very similar time to the F-35. These changes are definitely noticeable. And did you think that things could have not gotten any better? Well, guess what? This vehicle is also insanely good at destroying shields now, and this DPS is actually pretty insane. So if you guys do want to rate some people, I think the PGO2 is also going to be a pretty great pick. Now moving on to the ships, and the perfect example here is going to be the USS Douglas. And as you can see here, it does actually have some pretty good DPS against ships as well. So I feel like it's just going to be an all-rounder, very versatile vehicle, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this thing back in the meta. Anyway, let's move into the E100 on the mouse, because their changes were actually really special. So these changes contain the 75mm cannon, which is now much stronger against air vehicles, because as you can clearly see, this 75mm cannon almost was able to one-shot the F-35, and if you take a look at the Mi-28, it has no problem with one-shotting it, even when it's maxed out. Now the mouse was also taken for the exactly same buff process, and as you can see, it does exactly the same damage here on its 75mm cannon, which I think is actually pretty fair balancing, and I do really like the fact that now the 75mm cannon will actually be able to one-shot most of the planes and helicopters in this game. Anyway, for the time being, that were all the changes that were actually made in this update in terms of balance. I'm really happy the developers are continuing to tackle the balance problems in this game, and I really hope there will be much more to come in the next few updates. Anyway, for the time being, I'll see you guys next video. Have a great day, and thanks so much to my channel members.